This is a
Squad. Wow, deputy.
I know him and he know me. I know him and he know God the King of Kings, that's my old God the King of Kings, that's my old Father, Son, and Spirit. I old Father, Son, and Spirit. I know him and he know me. I know him and he know me. I know him and he know me. I know him and he know God the King of Kings, that's my old God the King of Kings, that's my old Father, Son, the Spirit. I old Father, Son, the Spirit. I know him and he know me. I know him and he know me. He know me. I know him. We so cool. We know. Play no games. 1, 2, 3. On the board. Bingo. The devil flex. He a mess. Try to test. Debo. We don't care. We don't see. We don't feel. Ego. Blessed. Blast out. Fear. The asphalt. Dear. My past. My future. Mask off. Hats off. Tried. We know you lied. Try to live your best life. You live and die. Flex me. Living water. Jet ski. Too fly to kick it with you. Jet Li. Messi. Soccer. Blessing. Blocker. You talk too much. You sing. I know him. He know me. I know him. He know me. I know him. He know me. I know him, he know me. I know him and he know me. I know him and he know God the King of Kings, that's my old God the King of Kings, that's my old Father, Son, and Spirit. I old Father, Son, and Spirit. I know him and he know me. I know him and he know me. I know him and he know me. I know him and he know God the King of Kings, that's my old God the King of Kings, that's my old Father, Son, the Spirit. I old Father, Son, the Spirit. I know him and he know me. I know him and he know me. King talk, I pose, logo, ballin'. I read, I see, I hear, calling. My gift, unique. You reach, I teach. Above, I see the storms beneath. Beseech, we meet, we speak, we feast. Control, command, I shift, delete. You real, we cool. You fake, I'm hot. You silent, we straight. You cross, I'm not. I bow, you stand. My God, holy, respect. You don't, I check, know me. Glory, praise him. Jesus, flawless. Complain, not me. He gave all this. I know him, he know me. 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 Wow, deputy.
That ball is belted. Welcome in Carlos Gomez. Hello. Goodbye.
Down the middle. Butler makes a move.
Oh man, yeah. We rockin' now for real. BS3 Sports. Okay, sports news, get it first when you're getting off of work. Even when you're at work, acting like you're working hard when you're hardly working. I'm a maverick like Dirk, getting Franklins like Kirk. Hold up, boy. X-Squad, you don't know them boys? Being talking facts on every topic. Overall, we just talking noise, just being boys. Covering Texas sports in them tall hills. That with the fake pass over to Elliott. Better guard your grills like a car for real. Yeah, Cowboys gonna bring a bowl back, Lord willing. Yeah, Mavericks gonna bring a ring back with Mark in it. We live sports, we talk sports, we dream sports, we eat sports. The teacher about to teach the course. Welcome to BS3 Sports. Reals. Oh man, yeah.
Welcome to the BS3 Sports Show. This Friday, May the 31st, last day of May. Gonna be going into June tomorrow. We got a great show planned for tonight. NBA Finals. We're gonna be talking heavy NBA Finals. We'll have two guests on the show tonight. Also, we'll be taking your calls towards the end of the show. But we have Courtney Harden of The Real Deal with Courtney Harden podcast. Also, Doc Bell, the Angry Black Man, Posting in the Paint show. And like I said, we'll be taking your calls. Also, we got some other news and notes from this week. But Courtney Harden should be calling in here in just a moment. So I want to give a shout out to the network, X Squad Radio, which this show is on. Also, my fam over at the No Phony Podcast Network, showing support and love as well. Shout out to Big L in the building first, Mo Cheese. Also, we got Just Joe in the building. Thank you for tuning in. Appreciate the love. So, man, give me your immediate thoughts. Give me your immediate thoughts on the finals. Because I thought it was thoroughly entertaining. Shout out to the greatest in the building. Thank you for tuning in. There was a lot of instances in that game where it could have went either way. But I would definitely say Toronto played some of the best basketball that they've ever played in their entire franchise history. Give it up to Pascal Siakam, scoring 34. I believe he scored 34. Just give it up to that whole squad playing D. They did a great job. Now, it goes to the point, does Golden State need KD? That's the question. It's only game one. So let's not get so wrapped up into calling a whole series from just one game. Let's not do that. It is very difficult to not do that because you've seen what happened. You've seen what the outcome was. But you don't want to do that because it's not fair to the other team. And Golden State still has firepower. All right, so we got Courtney Harden on the line. He's a frequent listener, frequently in the chat room. Glad to get you on the show. What's going on?
What's going on, Ben? How you doing, man? Thanks for letting me come on.
Definitely, man. And Courtney Harden will be coming to BS3 Sports and Music very soon. We're ironing out, getting the show taken care of, getting them some training on Spreaker. So you'll be hearing his voice on the BS3 Sports and Music Network very soon. Shout out to ABM. Thank you for tuning in. So, man, NBA Finals yesterday was fire. That's why I said the game was hella good. If you're from Cali, we use hella. Okay, that's technically, to me, that's not a cuss word. So, but give me your thoughts right out the gate. How did you feel about the finals from beginning to end?
Man, what a game! Like you said, it was hella good. I liked that. The game was definitely fire. I didn't think Toronto was going to come out like this. Right from the beginning. And I picked the Warriors in 6. I picked them because of their experience. Their line. I thought their lineup is good enough without KD to win this series. Now, I'm not one of those ones to say they're better without KD. I think that's ridiculous. They're much better with Kevin Durant. You got a guy that's a top 2-3 player in the league, and he's out. So, if you got him out, you're a much better team. Kevin Durant is a luxury for the Warriors, so he's the X factor. And it's funny to say a top guy is an X factor, but he's a luxury to have. One of the best scorers we've seen in a long time. So I'm not one of those ones to to think that they're much better without KD. They're still a great team without him, but they're like the best team with him. So for them to come out as flat as they did, they had no rhythm. That 9-day layoff was definitely a factor in this game. And Toronto took it to them, man. I mean, the home crowd was behind them. The Raptors was just on point. And, all their guys, they had the strength in numbers yesterday. The Warriors always say we're strength in numbers. The Toronto Raptors had a strength in numbers yesterday. And they took it right to Golden State. I mean, they disrupted their rhythm. They played that solid D. And, man, they got so many guys. They're long, they're big, they're tough. Their defense was just very good. So shout out to Toronto, and as I call them, the Toronto Drakes. Shout out to them. Golden State.
I like that.
They took it right to them, and they got game one. They got the game they definitely needed, because if they go down 0-1, I think the series could have possibly been over. I still think it's gonna be a long series, but man, Toronto played with they played with house money. They just had they had everything for them, and they went right to the Golden State Warriors.
Yeah, and I think shout out to Wilkes in the building, co-worker showing support. I call him the Cowboys Whisperer. I'm gonna have to get him on the show during the NFL season. But the thing about this game, and I already said this, I thought Toronto was gonna get the win in game 1 or 2. Toronto's on an extreme high right now. They're on a high that you can't come down from at this point. For that reason, Kawhi's been on fire. Pascal Siakam's been doing his thing. This was a game that I immediately thought they were going to win because they're on this high. Golden State, I'm not going to use an excuse as they had days off. You're a professional basketball player. You should be ready to play whenever, however, whatever it takes. So I'm not going to use that as an excuse, but I'm just going to say Toronto's been on a high, and they came out on fire. Here's the thing. Can Toronto do that 3 other times? They have to do that 3 other times. It's not as if Golden State was not in this series. It's not as if in this game. It's not as if this game was pretty much over. It was a blowout, because it wasn't a blowout. So that means Toronto's got to do this 3 other times, which personally I don't think that can happen. I just don't. Now, Golden State cannot have a game like what they had. A key thing I wanted to talk about: Boogie Cousins was back. He was back. He got some playing time. To me, I think he got some quality minutes. Did he do? A lot? Not really. But when I seen that Boogie was ready, we talked about this in our group text. But how did you feel when you got that initial feeling like Boogie's playing, and then watching him in the game? What was your thoughts with Boogie's play?
Yeah, when we were, like I said, we were talking about in the group text. I was thinking, okay, let's see what Boogie we get. Now he's been off for 4 or 5 weeks now, so, and not playing any basketball because of the injury. So I was wondering, like, okay, how many minutes is Kerr going to play him? How many, what is he going to look like? Because, he got out of shape, missing all that time. So I didn't know if he was going to start, how many minutes he was going to play. So he played in the second quarter and he played in the fourth quarter. So he looked okay. He looked like a guy that was rusty, that was out for a while. So, his presence alone could help them. But I tell you this, the Warriors are going to need someone to step it up. They're going to need a third or fourth scorer, because even though they did score 108 points, let's not get it twisted. Some people are saying that the Warriors didn't score enough. They still scored 108 points without a third scorer. Steph did his thing, Clay did his thing. But Draymond, even though he had a triple-double, it was like one of those empty triple-doubles. It wasn't the Draymond Green that played against Portland, who was dominating on both ends of the floor. Siakam was giving him the business yesterday.
Yeah.
So they're going to need someone, Looney, they're going to need a guy, to take that third scoring step because Iguodala looked terrible. Livingston got a lot of minutes, but he didn't do